Hi, my name is Judy and I'm the City Stitcher, and welcome to my Flosstube channel. Today is Sunday, October the 25th. It is the last Sunday in October, and as you can tell, I'm recording in a different location, which means we're going to talk about weather. So I wrote the information down. Denise, I know you were really excited that I was talking about snow, but as someone who lives in a snowy place, I will agree, it can be pretty when you look at it through the window, and it's always nice to have snow for Christmas. But for the week of October, this last week, we're not happy about it. We're actually in one of the longest stretches of cold that we've had since probably the 90s. So I'm not happy about that either. So here's my little statistic, which Denise, I hope you take to heart, which means you won't be quite so enthusiastic about snow. So right now, the temperature where I live is minus 16 degrees Celsius, which means it is plus 3 degrees, plus 3 Fahrenheit. It's cold. It's frosty. Now, fortunately, according to the weather people, we will be coming out of this this week. So tomorrow we should be up to a balmy plus 1 degree Celsius, which is plus 34 degrees Fahrenheit. So a swing of 31 degrees day over day. And then by Friday, the forecast temperature is plus 10 degrees Celsius, which is 50 degrees Fahrenheit. So a number of days in a row this week that are all above 0 Celsius. So I'm really hoping that by Friday, the snow on my front the snow on my front yard will be gone. That would be nice because it's a little too early. My poor, I have a snow boy who comes to shovel my driveway, and it's October and he's had to shovel for 4 days already this winter season, so he's really excited about that. Anyway, the total snowfall over the past week has been 17 centimeters, which is, wait for it, 7 inches. 7 inches of snow. Scraping the car, blah, 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 roads, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, snow may be nice to look at through the window, and snow is lovely at Christmas time. I'm less excited about the snow, and certainly not snow in October. And on that happy note, let's get on to some more exciting things like, you know, stitching related things. Sorry, I forgot. Let's talk about a couple of things, comments. Celine, just wanted to say hi to Celine if she's watching this week. She left a comment on last week's video. She's from France. And it just reminded me about how global the cross-stitch community is. And I know I talked about it on World Cross-Stitch Day back in the summer. But it's comments like those, and I got one on a few videos ago from a lady in Russia, that there really is we are a global community of stitchers. And on World Cross-Stitch Day, I, made the comment that I took a moment to think about it, like on this day, that there are stitchers all over the world that are partaking of this craft that we do. And so again, those two comments, yes, people in Canada, yes, people in the US, and I'm not saying that, we don't appreciate my North American viewers, but, someone from France was watching and someone from Russia was watching, and, I had that moment saying we are a global community. And certainly with the restrictions on travel and all of those things that go along with the current things that 2020 will be known for, I just took a moment to sort of say it's a global community, and whether we can meet up in real life or not, we're still a community. And yeah, I enjoyed that. So Celine, thank you for watching. Thank you for taking some time out of your day and spending it with me. Debbie, thank you for your comments about the Krynic. This is a gift And it reminds me, so when we get to my stitching, I'm going to do a little more discussion about yours, but thank you for your comments and suggestions. They're not quite applicable. Well, I can't quite put them into practice on this particular stitching project for a number of reasons, which I'll review when we get to my actual stitching. And with that, let's get to my stitching, because you'll never guess what I've been stitching on this week. Yeah, Marbec. All Marbec. Oh yeah, the other one I was going to say. So thank you all for the comments that came in, and I have to admit, periodically I go, I wonder why people watch my channel, because even I am getting a little bored that, you know, I only have Marbec stitching to show. But I think it turns out it's because a lot of you are monogamous stitchers as well. So it feels very familiar to you to see how our project comes together over time. Anyway, but wait for the topic at the end. Preparations for 2021. Anyway. But Debbie's comment reminded me, for those of you, so I talk about Marbec and I show my, new location. We're going to have to figure out how things work. My lovely Marbec, and this is the picture I show. But if people don't really know Marbec, because I don't necessarily show this all the time, the thing about Marbec is that it is a multi-panel project. And so, not that one, that one's going to come up. So this panel, and this panel are complete and were stitched by someone else. I am working on this ginormous panel. And again, the stitched area, man, I wish I could get rid of that glare. Here we go. The stitched area for that center panel, and it is the biggest one of the three, but the stitched area is 18 by 27 on 36 count linen. And 18.7 is the stitched area, not the size of fabric you need to cut. So yeah, it's big. Anyway, and again, because 3 of the other panels are already completed, and actually when I got the center panel, this top part of the star was already done. I am committed to using the Krynic for consistency among the panels and to continue, like certainly I had to use the Krynic as we come down. So just for the consistency across the project, because it is a multi-panel project, I am committed to using the Krynic. Not always my favorite, and 12 other things, and there's a big load of instructions about how many strands to use, where, when, and why, which we'll be talking a lot about that when we get to the camel, but that's a different story. La 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 la, center panel. So working on the center panel, 2/3 of this angel is complete. The star is all done, and of course I'm down here. So again, I have all of this done except for the steps. Working on my lovely little Wiseman. It is the 25th of October. There are 6 days left in the month. I am not going to reach my goal for this month. La 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 la. I'm trying to ignore that part for right now. So anyway, we'll come back to that for what's going to happen next. Let me show you what I accomplished this week, because I did accomplish things. Not as much as I would have liked to. Isn't that the story that you get from me every week? Anyway, here's Marbec. There's my shepherd. He's coming along. And yeah, so there's not a lot left to have the red part done. So you'll laugh. So a little bit of this part down here is actually the part that, remember how I unstitched something because I thought it was wrong and it turned out it was right? Anyway, so that's a little bit down here. So there's only a little bit left to go, so that should be easily completed. The part up here is Krynic. This is the beginning of the Krynic. So I'm going to finish this, and then I'm going to settle in and start doing the Krynic, which goes all along this border. So I've made progress. I was actually really hoping to have all of this, completed by the time I got here, but it didn't quite work out this week for a couple of reasons, and that's life, that's reality. So in terms of having this whole bottom panel completed by the end of the, or actually the whole center panel completed by the end of the month, certainly not going to make that. And again, if you're wondering, I am leaving Mary again till the very end because this is supposed to be a gift for someone. And they had made a comment that they were surprised about the colors chosen for Mary. And so before I stitch Mary, one, I want to be in a position to say, hey, this is going to be your gift. To speak now and tell me what you really want for your colors for Mary before I actually stitch it. Anyway, but progress. So hopefully by the end of this week, the Wiseman will be done. Anyway, dare to dream. Now back to the pattern because there's a lot left to go after that before I even scroll back up. So again, this whole edge is done in Krynic, and again, you can see from this picture, so there's those parts up there that are also done in Krynic. I still have his box to stitch, the sheep with hay, and we all know how much I love the hay, and I have all these stairs. And these stairs continue on to either side, and there's some grass. But I'm hoping that these will go relatively quickly. But I still have a box and a sheep to do. Krynic first, box, stairs, and then a sheep. And then I get to scroll up and finish off. So really, the part of the angel up top that needs to be done is the part that you can see here. It's this bottom part. And streamers with Krynic. And then I have the angel over here. This entire angel has yet to be completed for the center panel. So there's a lot left to go. There's a lot left to go. And then the camel. But I keep reminding myself that theoretically, the camel should go faster because it's small. La 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 la. We'll talk about that next week. Because next week on Sunday, wait for it, it's going to be November the 1st. Dun, dun, dun. We'll talk about that again in a minute. Okay, so I have no previous finishes to show you this week, but I do have some Stashquisitions to show you. And in this light, who knows how the colors are going to show up. In case you're wondering, I think you can tell that I enjoy bold wall colors in my home. I'm not a very good neutral person. Anyway, so this is a piece of fabric. I've got 3 pieces of fabric from Sunny Dyes Fabrics, and I will put a link to their page. And so it's a big piece. And why did I get this? So Mirabilia, that sandcastle chart with the 2 kids making the sandcastle on the beach. Dina from Half Stitch Cross Stitch did it on this fabric, and it looks fantastic. Now, I acknowledge that this means there's way more stitching that has to be done because you have to fill in the castle on this particular fabric, but she's already done the work for me because she talks in her video about what she's using to fill in the castle, so I already know what the solution is, and she's doing it on this fabric, so I know that it will work. And I think you can see a little bit that there are actually these small gold flecks in the sky. Now, she didn't know that they were there when she bought it. And again, they're not prominent, which I enjoy. But with the sandcastle and the kids now, I think she also changed a couple of the ribbons on the kids and all that kind of stuff. So when I start this, I'm going to have to pay close attention. But thank heavens for YouTube, for Flosstube videos, because it means I can go back and I can see exactly what she did. Dun, dun, dun. Recorded for posterity and to help those of us who come behind. So this is a 32 count Lugana, and it is called Desert Twilight. So yes, it's a big piece. Anyway, so I picked that up, and following the cross stitch rules, which says no item should travel alone, this clearly needed a friend. So this is fabric number 2, which is also, so all of these fabrics are all from Sunny Dyes Fabrics. This is also a 32 count Lugana, and this is called Botanical Garden. And my whole answer is, can't you see a Nora Corbett fairy under that arch? Have I figured out which fairy it needs to be? No. But I was looking at it online and I went, okay, seriously? That's just begging for a fairy to be put in there. Haven't figured it out, but, you know, I don't need to figure all of the things out at one time. Okay, and then I bought a third piece. Also 32 count Lugana. And this is called Sky and Meadow. So I think you can gather what I was going and looking for is, instead of having a piece that was, so last week when I showed my Picture This Plus fabrics, I showed, you know, they're all over-dyed fabrics, all one color, etc., etc. And so I think you can tell that on this one I was going for fabrics that have 2 different colors, something on top and something on the bottom. And again, during the times of COVID, this is where I go, if it was available, I was going to get it, because you just don't know when the next ones are going to be available. So a couple of things on that. It was interesting. I was part of a conversation this week. And again, it was about Picture This Plus, because poor Picture This Plus, and I don't know how to help them. Someone was making the comment that, you know, yeah, and don't forget, like, they're dyeing like a football field length of fabric practically every day, 6 days a week. But, and it's not even, so it's not even just, you know, if they spent more time, which 6 days a week were already, that's not good. But part of the other, there's 2 other parts to the equation. Of course, there's the time actually to make the product, the base fabric. And again, it's funny how I didn't put this in my head together, because I've talked about this before, that I've seen on distributors' web pages that, you know, they're out of, you know, what I call the basic fabrics, the toilet paper of the cross-stitch world, you know, like antique white linen. That there is a backlog in the system about getting fabrics. So if you can't, you could be dyeing to your heart's content, but if you can't get the fabric to dye, what are you supposed to do? And then so that's part 1 of the equation. Part 2 of the equation is, of course, the dyes. And so I've been reading again on a couple of fabric dyers websites that they're struggling to get the dyes that they need to make the fabrics. So, you know, if you have no base fabric and you have no dye, it's really hard to come up with the fabric for those of us that are ordering, like, you know, wild things. Anyway, so Picture This Plus, I'm quite sure that none of you were watching. I've talked to a couple of people who are, well, a couple of them, you know, who are full-time involved in the cross-stitch industry, who are going like, man, on their downtime, the last thing they want to do is watch Flosstube. So I'm quite sure that nobody from Picture This Plus is watching my Flosstube channel. And if you are, thank you so much. But a year from now, when you're feeling better, in case you stumble across this, I just want to say, dear Picture This Plus people, thank you so much for what you do. Thank you for putting up with the craziness of people like me who have ordered more than one thing during this pandemic. I'm sorry for making your life so crazy, but thank you for all that you do. Love the fabric. Keep it up. We're all looking forward to calmer, better times, which are around the corner, which is my segue into the topic for this week. Let's talk preparations for 2021, part 1. So if you were here for the not topic related things, thank you for coming and spending some time. Feel free to drop in comments below. Always happy to have those. If you're here for the topics, here we go. Why is it called part 1? Well, because my plan is this is the end of October. This is part 1. So one, I am encouraging people to plan for their 2021. I'm planning for 2021 because I can't wait for Marbec to be done and to work on something else. That day's coming. Please let it be done in 2020. I might have to spend the week between Christmas and New Year's ignoring everybody and everything in the world and only stitching because I really want Marbec to be done in 2020. I can do this. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be good. Okay, here we go. Anyway, 2021. So in my head, I have been working, in my head and on a couple of pieces of paper. I've mapped out my plan for 2021, the concept. And so I was watching the Sunshine Stitchers last night, their most recent Flosstube. And EJ, so of the 3, I like them all. I really do think me and EJ, we would really be, we would really be really great friends in real life. Even though she's never met me, and I'm pretty sure if you said my name to her, she would have no idea who I am. But in my head, according to me, based on what I've seen on Flosstube, me and EJ, we'd be friends. Why? Because she said, you should always write your plans in pencil. Because that way you can always change them. Now, my answer is like pencil, schmencil, pen, highlighter, Sharpie, just cross everything out and write something beside it, and that's the new plan. But so I have come up with a conceptual plan of what I want to stitch in 2021, and of course my after all of the events that have happened over the last 12 months from a family perspective, I am trying to, I have a large stash, which I do not regret in the slightest, because quite frankly, you could shut me up in my house and not allow me to buy anything else for the next 10 years, and I could probably, you know, I've got enough in the house right now to go for 10 years solid without buying another thing. But that's why I have to finish kitting up the things that I need for 2021. Don't think about the logistics of that. Don't, anyway. But I have the concept for what I'm doing. And so my 2021 plan is I'm planning on starting new things. It's going to be a glorious thing. All new things. Won't that be exciting? So I'm working on kitting those up. I'm at, I would say I'm probably for sure, probably all the way through April in terms of my kitting preparation for what I think I'm stitching on in 2021. So that's only 4 out of 12 months, so I've got a lot left to go, so I have to, but again, so this is October, so if by the end of October I've figured out and kitted up all the stuff that I need to get to end of April, by the end of November I should have figured out what I'm doing for the next 4 months, which would take me to my August plans. And then that gives me December to pick up the other things. Now I've ordered some things, including Picture This Plus fabric, which I don't know if it's going to come in by the time 2021 arrives. But the fact that I ordered it 2 months ago, if they show up on January 17th, I'm still counting that as a 2020 purchase, just so you know. That's how I'm doing it, because I ordered it at the beginning of September. I snuck my request list in with my LNS when I knew they were getting an order ready to go. So I'm pulling that all together and trying to get that ready. It's been fun thinking about those things and thinking about the rotation things. So here's where I'm at the moment. I'm thinking, so in May of this year when I did Stitch Mania, I worked on a main piece during the week, and then I worked on a small project on the weekends. Now at the end, I like that, so it meant that I started some things, and so I only started 5 new things in Mania. And have I finished those? No, but I have finished 3 of the 5, so I've still got 2 left to finish. And then, but what I was thinking while I was doing that was that generally I get a little more stitching time on the weekends than I do during the week. So I maybe shouldn't spend all of my week stitching my main project and only stitching on the other thing on the weekend, that I should space that out a little bit more. So where I'm at right now from rotations is thinking that I have a main focus piece that I will be carrying through the month. We'll see how many of them get completed. We'll talk about that later. But having a main piece and then having a second piece, but alternating. So clearly Marbec is, I can't wait for this thing to be done. It is a gigantic piece, and so I get that. Anyway, and I really am going to say I can't allow myself to stitch on something else, because if I stitch on something else, I really do think I'm going to not want to come back to this. So focus, focus, focus. Finish the gift, get this done, because then it's done, 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 and then I will have no Marbec hanging over me. But have a main focus piece, but every 2 or 3 days, work on a second piece that's smaller, and then alternate between those things. So that's where I'm at the moment. We may have to, this may be part of my 2021, try different things, see how it works out. Everything is subject to change at this point. Anyway, so that's my prep work for now. So again, I've still got some prep work left to go. I was thinking about that last night while I was stitching. So, and it also came watching the Sunshine Stitchers, because they are starting all the things, because their plan for 2021 is no new starts. So they're starting like a bajillion things this year to work on in 2021, because theoretically they're not allowed to have new starts in 2021 for Sheila and EJ. Gary is not signed on to that. He's like, I'm starting things that there's no way I'm signing up for no new starts 2021. And I think he secretly is going, I'm going to try to come up with things that are going to tempt Sheila and EJ so much that they're going to, hopefully by the end of Q1, he will have broken them and they will have started something new. That's the kind of great friendship they have going. Hence, I think I would fit right in. Anyway, never mind that. Anyway, so it will be interesting to see how, 2021, all new stitching things. It will be very exciting, working my way through those things, plotting, contemplating, changing, adapting. Prep work. So the other thing I'm going to encourage everybody to do, yes, start working on your plan for 2021. Figure out what it is that you want to accomplish. Now, this is me. I do like planning things out and all that kind of stuff. Not everybody likes that. There are people who are just like, whatever. I think Sweewee, which is from Jessie Marie, who is Sweewee, which a whole lot of letters. She pronounces it Sweewee, which stands for stitch what you want when you want. Which I have no problems. Hey, your goal, your objective, do that. Doesn't matter what anybody else is doing, your goal, your objective. But I am encouraging you, saying, hey, 2021, a new year, hopefully not a repeat of 2020. Come up with a stitching goal. See what you can accomplish towards that. And I've just realized the thing that I forgot to do before, free charts. I'm looking over here going, oh yeah, there's my free charts. Forgot to do that part. Okay, let's do free charts. So this is from, it's been, now again, because I'm not smart enough to remember these things, either it's been showing up on Facebook things, or it's probably more like it's been showing up in my Instagram stuff. So this lady, she has a blog but she has been putting out some charts that are free, and I know that I've saved a few of them, and so I'm going to show them with you. And again, the link, so the link to the blog is down below. She's only been blogging since July, and when I tried to do a couple of the links earlier today, because you know I always verify before I come on here to film that the free chart is still free, I couldn't quite get it to work so that it actually took you to exactly where some of these are, but if you just scroll through the blog, you'll come across these. These are all relatively recent, so it's not like you have to scroll back all the way to the beginning of July. And she has more charts than this. These are, I'm just showing you some of the ones that appeal to me. And since we are in fall, it's okay, it says it's fall, but let me tell you, when I look outside, I'm going, this is winter. Anyway, never mind that. So here we go. So this is, and I'm going to be terrible about the names. This is Ophelia Manor at something, something, something. So it's just a nice fall pattern. Okay, you know that I'm a sucker for a house, fall, pumpkins. I'm okay with the pumpkins being orange because I proved that last week. Little cauldron over here. Nice. But she took this and she flipped it around and made some adjustments, and she made a Halloween version. So she changed the pumpkin into a jack-o'-lantern, added a cat, there's some ghosts, bats, spiders, which I thought were fantastic. So I also thought it was really creative to say, hey, take something that you've already done. I know this should be obvious to smart people, you know, reverse it, add a few things, and you've got, you know, but she's going, you know, for people, not everybody likes to stitch Halloween. So if you don't like Halloween, there's a chart for you. If you do like Halloween, there's a chart for you too. So I enjoyed that. But of course, this was the week where I'm going like, sorry, it feels like winter. Really feels like winter, and a lot of snow. And so she put out this chart, which I liked as well. Very festive, you know, again, using the old-fashioned Santa face mugs that, well, that you can actually get even now. Yeah. So something for fall, something for Halloween, and something for Christmas yet to be. And this is my parting comment: to bring joy and cheer to all the land. There are 61 days till Christmas. Nobody's counting. 68 days till 2021, when hopefully Marbec will be completed and I will get to start. Trust me, you have no idea how much. New Year's Day, new year, new start. Okay, anyway, so must finish Marbec. It will be fine. I will get my goal accomplished by the end of the year. Come on. Yeah, it might turn into 20 hours of stitching a day at the end of December, but never mind that. It'll be fine, right? Okay. And with that, I hope you have a great week, guys. Stay safe. Do all the things to stay healthy, because that's really important. For those of you in the U.S., voting day is coming up, and there's no way I can keep on top of all of the 50 states and their rules and their blah, blah, blahs. Just encourage you saying, hey, vote. That's all I'm going to say. Make your vote, make your voice heard, and vote in your election. I'm always a big proponent that up here, when we have our voting days at our various levels, I'm always around the people I work with saying, did you vote? Did you vote? Vote, 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 vote. I'm a big believer, also because my grandmother was a big believer, and she was, she witnessed when women in Alberta got the right to vote. So she's always been a big vote. So I'm a big proponent of make sure you're voting. So all I'm going to say is I encourage you to vote. however your state allows you to vote. Do it safely and again. So with that, have a great week. Find some time to stitch. Find that moment of hopefully calm and peace in your day, and a moment for yourself where you get to express your creativity and find some time to stitch. Have a great week, guys. Take care.